What's the biggest challenge for any leader today? Is it the economy? Is it the government? Is it the climate? Or is it the change in the generations? Today I'm going to talk about the change in generations because we've moved from a baby boomer dominated workforce to a Gen X to a millennial, and now we're moving into a Gen Z or Z, depending on whether you live north or south of the border. I've heard so many leaders talk about the challenges they're having with the younger generations. What do we do? Is there a solution? Do we just ignore the problem and hope it goes away? Do we look for other sources to gain good employees? Or do we just stand or sit around and complain? There is a solution, and the solution is to be a better leader. Be a better leader. Well, how do we do that? I want to give you the 4 C's of how we can lead the younger generations well. The first C is we need to connect. We need to connect with the younger generations. In other words, what I mean is we need to be engaged in our leadership. We can't just sit back and tell them people what to do. We need to be engaged and remember that they're actually people with hopes and dreams and aspirations in our workplace and beyond. We need to gain an understanding of where they're coming from and how they see things to a degree. Secondly, we need to care. What I mean is this: we need to value people. We need to affirm what they do right. Now, I'm not talking about just patting somebody on the back constantly and saying, good job, but when someone does something significantly right, when they do something well, in a meaningful way, let them know that we noticed and that we value them. And third, we need to correct people. Sometimes we hear that to lead the younger generations, we've got to be much more soft and gentle and kinder, and we can't tell them too much when they're doing wrong. I disagree. We need to correct them when they need it. That's the only way we learn, is when someone tells us how we can do it better. The way that we show respect and dignity to somebody is to treat them like the adult they are and let them know when they're not performing at the level they need to be before it's too late. We need to treat the younger generations in the workforce as adults because that's what they are. A 24, 25, 29-year-old person is no longer a child or even a young adult. They're an adult. And we need to show them respect and dignity and treat them like one. And number 4, we need to be consistent. We need to be consistent with our values. We need to be consistent in our purpose and in our leadership. The solution might be simple, but the execution of that solution isn't always as simple. It becomes a little more complex. And that's why I wrote the books, More Than a Hammer, Leadership Tools for the Trades, Part 1 and Part 2. They will give you the tools and the principles to grow your leadership so you're going to be able to lead the younger generations coming into the workforce effectively. Even if your peers are struggling with leading at this time, you're going to be able to lead the younger generation effectively. More Than a Hammer, Leadership Tools for the Trades, Part 1 and Part 2 are books that are full of leadership tools and principles with work boots on. They're made to be practical and they're made to be put into practice on a daily basis. If you click on the link below, www.morethanahammerbook.com, that link will take you to my website where you're going to be able to pick up your copies of More Than a Hammer. Now, if you like reading, it comes in print form, in digital format, but it also comes in an audio format. So if you don't have time or don't enjoy reading, you don't have to. You can listen to it while you're driving, while you're working, while you're on a coffee break. More Than a Hammer, Leadership Tools for the Trades. Leadership principles with work boots on.